Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a number of concerns regarding this motion, and I would start by simply asking how much we're willing to let rents go up across the city in order to add municipal regulation to the rental market. It already costs around $2,200 to rent a single-bedroom apartment, and there are not many people that I speak to that want to see that number go up further. Let's be really clear. City staff were asked to look at this issue, and they made a recommendation. Do not proceed. That does not mean that there won't be policy improvements, and it also doesn't mean that staff are ignoring the issue of bad actors in the rental market. But having spent the last several months analyzing the question of developing a municipal rent-evictions bylaw, they've recommended against it, and rightfully so. This motion gives no consideration to the second and third order effects that a municipal policy would add to the cost and time of the rental market that's already overheated and that's bogged down in process. The simplest and most effective way to regulate rental prices is through increasing supply. Looking at N13 notifications as a bad thing is disingenuous oversimplification of the complex ecosystem of the rental market. There are very legitimate times that an older building requires intrusive maintenance for health and safety reasons. Lumping all N13 incidents as negative is a misrepresentation of this reality. Surge maintenance cycles are important to ensuring that buildings don't turn into slums, and adding regulation that restricts landlords from these processes will cause building degradation. Opportunities to turn a duplex into a triplex, that very gradual intensification that our new official plan espouses, will be undercut. Furthermore, by adding cost to the renovation process, this will push out the good actors in search of business opportunities in other cities that provide a better margin and with less downside risk. From this perspective, a renovation policy that is aimed at getting rid of bad faith actors may in fact have the very opposite effect of pushing out good actors and encouraging more bad actors to participate in this market. I also think it's important to call attention to the data that's being used to drive this decision. The Landlord-Tenant Board rule on bad faith evictions. Yet the distinction in this motion solely refers to N12 and N13 evictions, which lumps the routine and good faith evictions with the bad. There are very legitimate times that a major renovation is required. This is reasonable and normal in the landlord-tenant relationship, and it's further disingenuous to reference the spike post-COVID as an indicator of a predatory market. It makes sense for two reasons why there would be an increase in both N12 and N13 evictions at that time. Firstly, during COVID, landlords would look to delay major renovations and avoid evictions in the midst of a pandemic. So to see a residual bump after the fact should be expected. Furthermore, rent prices have skyrocketed since 2019, jumping about 50%. So on-demand capital investment and maintenance will be that much greater. Staff indicate that establishing a bylaw program for rent evictions would require approximately 12 to 15 new FTEs and a budget of about $2 million annually to be implemented through a permitting process. These costs will be pushed directly onto tenants. This is a bad policy that will address the wrong issue. Our policy focus should be on increasing the rental market in order to stabilize prices, to incentivize a broad representation of good faith landlords, and to support provincial measures that focus on the punitive options available to deal with both bad faith landlords and tenants in order to improve the overall health of our rental market. Finally, there will be a federal election this year. There are very clear signals that housing accelerator funding from the federal government could become much more targeted based on the municipalities that reduce red tape and build more houses. Duplicating provincial regulation with an independent municipal rent-eviction bylaw that may well contribute to endangering tens of millions of federal dollars due to its impact of adding delays to building renovations and much needed vertical infill development, making rent much more expensive, and adding to the already rampant inflation, affordability, and quality of life issues that we face. Thank you for your time, Mr. Mayor.